Warrior will continue.
Seems a little bit inconsistent with the left-handed batsman. It's the first time that they're bowling against a left-handed batsman. All of the previous batsmen have been right-handers, so he's a bit spurring the deliveries a little bit for the left-handed Raymond Reifer.
In fact, he is the only left-handed batsman in the team. Driven well. That should run away towards the boundary for 4. And gets there too. Great shot there by Raymond Reifer. And he picks up another boundary.
Another delivery that's overpitched and gets the treatment it deserved. Driven past the bowler. Good chase there by the mid-on fielder. Ball winning that race.
There's been a scarcity of left-handers in these two teams. In fact, India A only have one. That's Dubey. In the first match, the West Indies A team had 2 left-handers, but both of them were left out of this one. Just Raymond Reifer coming in for this. A chance here for him to stake his claim for a place in the Test side, as for Shane Darridge, and that's a recurring theme today for all of these players. India's team has already been named for the Test matches. They're appealing, saying it was pad first and not bat, but there was clearly a sound of the ball coming off the bat.
A nice and full hint of late in-swing to the left-handed batsman. Confident shot. Titan Butler not interested, but being involved in that particular stroke.
Here's Titan Butler, former Windward Islands player. You would have come up against him at some point. The umpire, Titan Butler, the man from South Rivers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The LBW appeal, and there was he actually played it into the pad, which would explain the 2 noises. Clearly was bat first and then pad.
It's over.
End of the over, 2:33 for 5. Umpire Butler calls an end to it. We haven't seen too much of that. A lot of former players going into umpiring. I think you're going to be coaxed into doing that, Samuel?
I'll be very far away from that. I can tell you that, Vidya. It's an unrewarding job. You get a good decision, you get a tap on the back. You make a bad decision and you're crucified for it.
And the field is not air conditioned, unlike doing commentary.
Let's look at the World Cup final. Everyone is talking about that overthrow, and should have been 5 and not 6. Umpires coming to the fore there and being blamed. It's not something that I would like to get involved in. Vidya, I'm nice and cool in the commentary box.
So there goes the lobby for former players to get into umpiring. You put it to the sword there, Samuel. Well, good news on the umpiring front, though. Joel Wilson, the Trinidad and Tobago and West Indies umpire, has been moved up into the elite ranks of world umpiring. Congratulations to Joel Wilson. Unfortunately for India, their umpire S. Ravi has been removed from the panel. Of course, this is an ongoing scenario where umpires' performances are evaluated and re-evaluated. So, who knows? He might be back in the elite panel. In fact, several umpires have been removed. Ashoka De Silva, Billy Bowden was some of those who would have felt the axe of the ICC at some point. Big appeal. Maybe striking him just outside of the off stump.
2 songs again, Vidya. I think he might have gotten an inside edge onto this one. Yes, inside edge there onto the back pad. Hence a stifled appeal from the fielders.
And talking about Joel Wilson, there was a game in which you played in which there was a massive appeal while you were bowling. Joel Wilson was the umpire, and everybody in the stadium thought it was out. Oh, great shot, but just too good into the middle stump. That was 4 all the way, but no run resulting.
Doesn't matter how many people think that the batsman is out, Vidya. If the umpire, the one man who has the power, says it's not out, guess what? It's not out.
And when the replay came up next ball, this one Dowrich hitting it straight back to the stumps, it was shown that the ball was not going to hit the stumps, and nobody said a word to Joel Wilson, but credit to him for his knowledge of the rules. Also moving up in the world of umpiring, England's Michael Gould is now part of the elite panel. Ian Gould, in fact, has retired. Michael Goff is the umpire who's moved up, and Ian Gould, a very popular umpire, he has retired. That's not going to find a fielder. It may find the boundary rope. It does. Not exactly where he wanted it to go, Samuel, but he gets the boundary all the same.
Yeah, a bit of a fall stroke here from Shane Dowrich, trying to pull this one through mid-wicket, instead getting the top edge over the slip, going down to the 3rd man boundary for 4. No control there from Shane Dowrich. He'd want to settle down for the final few overs of the day's play, ensure that this team gets to the end without any further loss. Yeah. From trying to feel that last ball.
A slight hold up here as one of the Indian fielders is off the pitch now, and I think this might be the fielder who slid on the northern side of the ground when he was chasing a delivery, and might be a ankle injury of some sort.
That's better from Dowrich. Just try to settle down, try to survive the final 3 overs of the day's play. Tomorrow you can come back, get yourself set. As we look at this injury here, just sliding and rolling that ankle.
Oh, and he fell a second time. The first slide looked a little bit awkward, and he may have come into contact with the rope. There is a substitute on for him, and the 2 batsmen just talking it over. Dowrich on 23, Reefer on 22. The partnership now up to 41. Very quietly, they have pushed their way up, trying to force the West Indies back into this game. But it seemed that India A might run through.
It's a good fight back here from these two Barbadian players. 41 runs the partnership. Definitely want to see Definitely want to see out the final few overs here and come back tomorrow.
Change in tack here from Siraj, coming round the wicket to the left-handed batsman Reefer. Always a good plan to deny the batsman width. Once you get it right, that is. Reefer's looked very comfortable since he's come in. 22 of 23 balls.
Very compact player, Raymond Reefer. Good with the bat, good with the ball, good in the field, a good all-around player. Certainly want to make the most of his talent. India A rotating their fast bowlers from the southern end, from the Brannar Pavilion end. Mohammad Siraj replacing Sandeep Warrior as they strive to pick up the 6th wicket.
Another powerful drive there from Reefer. And Dorridge was actually struggling a little bit when he was batting earlier. But after Reefer's very composed way of playing, he has settled down and has pushed on to 23 of 40 deliveries.
Short delivery there from Siraj. Some players, Vidya, are very nervous starters, and once they get past that first 10-15 runs, they settle down quite nicely. But it's that initial period when they just come to the crease, when they're the most vulnerable, and the captain, the opposition captain, will want to try to make use of that vulnerability quite early on. Most batsmen are like that, but once they settle in, Raymond Reefer settling quite nicely here. Once they settle in, they want to make the most of that.
Timing the ball very well, Raymond Reefer. The ball just seems to be flying towards the fielders. Good signs for him early here. And if he can last through the last 2 overs today and 1 ball to go, might be able to push on the West Indies up towards 300.
I think that's always a good score to aim for, batting first. At the end of the 88th over, West Indies A 237 for 5. It's always a good score to aim for. 350 batting first in the first class game. Here at the Queen's Park Oval, the second unofficial test match. West Indies A coming up against India A. Of course, in the first game, India A having won that game by 6 wickets in Antigua. West Indies A attempting to level the series at 237 for 5.
And a score over 300 would be a great start towards doing that. Lost for them would mean the series is going to lead to a dead rubber in the 3rd match. Oh, that's unconvincing appeal there from the bowler. He didn't seem to be too interested in it.
Clearly hitting Dorridge outside off stump. Half-hearted appeal. Good delivery nonetheless, however. Just angling in, hitting on the pitch and straightening, beating the outside edge of Shane Dorridge's bat.
It hit him on the thigh, but Dorridge isn't that tall. Didn't miss by much. Well, hit it almost too well. Went quickly to the fielder. They get 1. I'd suggest maybe about 5 feet on either side of the fielder. That could have been 4. Very tiring day it has been for all of the fielders, with temperatures of 32 degrees and over, and a lot of sunshine. We were expecting perhaps some cloudy conditions today. That did not happen. India perhaps would have been hoping for that too. Absorbing day of cricket.
It's really been an engrossing day. Both teams trying to gain the ascendancy West Indies A would have done a really good job in the first two sessions, letting it slip a little bit in the last session in their A, sticking it through all the way to the end. 1 over and 3 balls remaining. 238 for 5 West Indies A.
Reefer actually looked like he was batting outside of his crease, and there he goes again, about a foot outside, trying to negate any late swing there might be. Clearly down the leg side from Dubé. Reefer has been exactly what the doctor ordered for this West Indies A inning since he's come in. It's been very positive. He's put away the bad balls, but he's also been very judicious when it comes to defense.
Yeah, he seems to be playing balls on merit. That's what you want to do as a batsman. If the delivery is loose, you put it away. If it's a good delivery, you treat it with respect. Presenting the full face of the bat there. Sneaking a single to the middle fielder. Rotating the strike quite nicely, Raymond Reefer.
Dubé walks back to the top of his mark, and his feet are actually digging into the turf. You can all... That's when you get your run up perfectly. This tells you there's still a bit of moisture around in the field when it cuts up like that. Fielder pushed back to deep mid-wicket for Shane Dowrich. I think he lost his footing slightly there, Dubé. One more over to go. 2:39 for 5 in the day's play.
Loose ball there from Shivam Dubé. Shane Dowrich missing it completely as we're into the last over, the final over of the day's play here at the Queen's Park Oval. Excellent over rate throughout the day from the Indian A team. Spinners would have helped that cause. Makande, Gautam getting through the overs quite quickly. All of the bowlers used bar one have picked up a wicket.
Best partnership of the day, 87 between Braffett and Hodge, 62 between Brooks and Hodge. And Dowrich and Reefer on 43 in this one so far. And the introduction of Raymond Reefer outside of his very calm batting, the change in the angle of bowling to the left hand, as you pointed out. The Indians took a little while to get settled into their rhythm bowling to him. Just allowed him to settle that bit better. Edge dropped! And it's gone for 4. It's hit him on the ankle. That's what happens late in the evening. The concentration level's not there. And there is an injury on the field. Edged by Reefer. Would it have carried though? May have carried there, Samuel.
I think it carried. It hit him full on his ankle from where I'm perched. So it definitely would have carried. I think that's a drop catch and the bowler would be disappointed. Along with the captain, he's in agony. The bowler is nowhere close to him because he's disappointed in that effort.
If it hits you full on the ankle, it should have been caught. Siraj 20.2 overs, 7 maidens, 1 for 47. It should have been 2 for 43.
Siraj is at the south end of the ground. The fielder, the injured fielder, is at the north end of the ground. Doesn't want to be anywhere close to him.
And never the twain shall they meet. There's the edge once again. Well, did he actually see it? It seemed that his eyes were all over the place. Clearly a loss of concentration.
He seemed to have gone to his right and the ball hit him on his left ankle. So I'm not sure if he didn't pick up the ball. Sometimes looking into that blue stand, that Stallmeyer stand, into the dark shadows, you may not pick up the ball, especially late in the evening as well. Just trying to find out the reason why he was not able to pick up that ball. Nonetheless, Raymond Rifa survives, goes on to 27.
I wonder if he can continue here, because the magic spray is out. That's never a good sign. You should have seen his reaction there, Samuel. There was a yelp of pain as that went on. Should be alright to continue here, but just 4 more balls to go in the day's play. Well, another fielder is going off, and this time they're asking maybe for someone to come on and assist here. I don't think he can walk off. FIFA have done something very interesting. They're telling substitutes you can walk off at the closest point now. And that would make more sense. And he's going to be forced to walk all the way off the field. Almost 80 meters or 100 meters and more. So an excruciating 100-yard walk back to the pavilion now.
And noticeably, Vidya, he's not even passing close to the bowler. He's making sure that he's nowhere close in the vicinity.
Well, the bowler is now stepping towards him, so he's going to ask him. I think there's a little bit of an apology being offered here. Yeah, that's the bowler just having a quick word with him. I'm not sure if it was an apology, but he didn't seem interested in talking all the same. Got a feel for him here. But it was a drop catch all the same.
Yeah, that would be the opportunity that the Indian team was looking for. Produced a chance. Unfortunately for them, it went a begging. A few more deliveries left for the West Indies A team to survive. Raymond Rifa would want to tighten up, would want to make the best use of that chance, of that life. Try to survive these remaining deliveries and come back tomorrow to continue the job that he has started alongside Shane Dorridge.
Siraj continues here. Oh, what a ball from Siraj. That one moved in. Snaked in from outside the off stump. How did that not hit the stumps?
He was celebrating. He was sure that was either bowl or caught behind. He didn't even look at the umpire. He was just celebrating. Mohamed Siraj. Unfortunately for him, it did not touch anything. Neither the stump nor the bat.
What a delivery. Has to be one of the best deliveries of the day not to get a wicket.
No.
Very long and very eventful last over. We had a drop catch, injury, a player leaving the field. One that just spun a mile, really. Just swerved and not far away from the off stump. Siraj saving his best for the last over here, Samuel.
Still nothing to show for it. Siraj just 1 wicket. It's a shot.
Well, there's something there. There's a definite touch on something, but it's been turned down by the umpire. And that may be off the pad, maybe off the thigh pad. So inconclusive from that angle, but there was a definite touch.
Good decision there from the umpire in my respectful view. No bat involved. Not out is the call. As we enter the final delivery of the day's play, West Indies A and Raymond Reefer looking to survive here. Mohamed Siraj will look to try to knock him over.
Big appeal. That's the end of the over, and that is the end of the day's play. Raymond Reefer, job done. Dropped in the last over. He survives. West Indies A, 243 for 5. Reefer is still there on 27. Shane Dulwich will face the first ball tomorrow. He is not out on 24. A much more satisfying end to the first day's play, Samuel Battery, for the West Indies A team.
Yes, this partnership here, 47 runs from these two, really saved face for the West Indies team after having a really good start in the first session. Craig Brathwaite, 36. Monson Hodge getting a half century, 65. Shamar Brooks following up as well with another half century. Then wickets fell in clusters, and one would have thought that it would have been the end of the West Indies, but good rearguard action from these two, Dulwich and Reefer. 243 for 5. They would be pleased with that effort.
They put on 47 at the end to guide the West Indies past